All right, we're rolling. Drew, you want to introduce?
All right, good evening. This is BelGeode, and we are back. This is going to be the last video of the convention. So the convention is over, and last year when we were in Connecticut, we did like a little round table wrap up just to kind of discuss some of the things that we really enjoyed or maybe didn't enjoy about the convention. And we've got a return person here, Mr. Karl, and I'm going to have everybody go around and introduce themselves, and we'll just take it from here. All right, so we'll start from this side.
Robert Dunn2, MS FlightSnet. Bob to my friends, you're all my friends. Yeah, great convention. Happy to have been here. The Nellis tour went great.
Most people know me as Spliffy. My real world name is Jared. I hail from Spokane, Washington. This is my first convention. My first chance to meet many of my fellow brothers in the flight simming community. I'm really happy to be here. We'll be doing it again.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm Shanna. I am the third-party spouse of Spliffy, and that's it for me.
There was a lot of spouses here as well.
You're in a lot of good company.
And I'm part of the same community as the other gentleman here from MS Flights.net. My name is Don, sometimes referred to as Coast. We don't know why. But I'm here, this is my first convention. It's a great opportunity to meet some very fine people and to see some very interesting things that are going on here. And I enjoyed myself quite a bit. Thanks a lot for it.
Carl, you want to say something? Since I already stole your thunder.
I'm the return Carl. I'm like Bob and Coast. I'm with MS Flights, and I had a great time. I think being in Vegas was a great idea, and I'm glad they did it.
And I'm FlightSimguy, working the camera. So
you might want to pop your head in.
that's all right. I'll pass.
Got a mirror?
He likes his camera. He doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, he's a volunteer camera guy, so we're good to go with that. So everybody enjoy themselves. What do you want to see for like next year? Anybody can chime in and make suggestions and so on.
I'm reading the Uva app whereby the attendees are making suggestions, and I'm sensing that it's return to Las Vegas, pick a hotel different from the Flamingo. This is the consensus of the attendees as expressed on this Uva social app.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that did not work this year that worked last year when I attended, I talked to Evan about it, is there was a big presentation area, then there was a small area where people were doing raffle, things like that, and then you went on from there to the whole exhibition area. But the problem was there wasn't a single gathering point for people to comfortably get together and talk, and that's where, at least last year, that's where the big sense of community came in. There were two gathering areas for people, and that's where I saw so many conversations going on where people were meeting from different parts of the world and so forth. Last year, it was a smoking area that was very conveniently located. That initially turned into the gathering point for the smokers, but by mid-afternoon on Saturday, it was a gathering point for everybody. And however they structure it, if they have a similar setup, they have the presentation area, I think that they ought to put maybe a couple of the exhibitions right outside of that presentation area, and then before you get to the rest of the exhibition, have a real nice, comfortable place for people to gather. Have electrical outlets, like Jared had suggested yesterday, electrical outlets for people to charge their devices, places to comfortably sit down, and just engineered to be a gathering point. And I think that'll enhance the experience and bring it back to more of that small community nature that I saw last year.
Well, and I don't know if any of you guys noticed this last night when they actually started the eating and the drinking part of it. Everybody started crowding in, and it got so hot. Did you guys notice that? It got extremely hot.
It was extremely hot for me, considering what I was wearing last night.
So it was really cold in the morning, in the afternoon, but then towards the night part, it just got so hot because everybody was crowded in that area.
And they turned off the AC.
Yes, they did turn off the AC, which I don't know what the rhyme and reason was behind that one, but
Who shuts off the AC when it's 105 degrees out?
It was going to be at 105 degrees in Las Vegas here in June.
We're in the desert.
So are we all thinking that they're going to actually stick to Vegas from here on out?
I think
or do you
so.
think it's going to end up moving around the U.S. at some point in time?
In my conversations with Evan, he thought Las Vegas would draw the people, especially with their spouses, and something else to do, and it was his intention. I'm not sure, I don't know for facts and details, but I think Evan was looking for another venue. Evan Ryder of Boston Virtual, a shaker and a mover here in the FlightSimExpo, looking for another venue.
I want to ask one question for everyone. Because it's a convention, one of the purposes is for us to network and essentially exchange information and learn.
Right.
So the one question I have is, now that we've been to this convention, what are you taking back with you in the field of flight simulation? What are you going to be doing better? I'll start first. Mobile flight simulation. What's the name of that outfit again? Inner Flight or whatever?
Infinite Flight.
Infinite Flight. I was impressed by their $5 app. And they were here last year, and they're developing, they're growing, so obviously there's something to it. Gonna check that out.
Yes.
I saw the presentation on using sims for training, plus the Pilot Edge guys. We have the technology. A bulk of what professional or PPL pilots do, we can learn. The sim is right there. It's perfect for it. We need to start doing it, using it for what it's really worth. So those are the two big things that I took away.
Jared?
I took away a very big sense of do-it-yourself abilities. It used to be that if you wanted something, you had to go and buy a specific controller. You had to go and buy a specific module. And you had to rely on somebody else that could code it and design it and put everything together for you now. There are a lot of people. I purchased from one, Prop Wash Simulations. Thumbs up, Kyle, thank you. They did a very, very good job of showing what we can do ourselves as simmers with everyday hardware that's very easily obtainable online for, shoot, less than 20 bucks in many cases, that you can make full functioning control devices.
That's good.
And it really opens the door, because how many people other than myself have said, God, this is what I need, this is how I need it set up.
Right.
I don't want my switches over here, I want my switches over here. I want to add in a rotary knob here and there. And this gives you the ability to do that.
That's good.
And adding on to that, I looked at those the Arduino based systems to build button boxes and things like that. And then about the time I was considering and designing that in my head, I got into the VR, and I said, well, obviously here's my VR world. I don't want to add more physical things out there. But now that I'm more comfortable with the VR, I realized that a self-made button box where will still work and actually be better, because even though you have the VR glasses in front of your face, you're still you're working with muscle memory.
Yeah, you still
so
have
if
your
the
muscle
button
memory.
box and the knobs are in the right place, it would actually enhance the VR experience, because for those of you who have flown any number of VR planes, the performance is not consistent among the models.
Right.
Some planes you can reach over and grab a knob and it turns quite easily, and others it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
So having a physical knob, switch, or dial that does what you want it to do certainly enhances the experience. It doesn't take away from it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, one of the things that sort of separates what I do for flight sim is I'm a rather casual flight simmer. I'm more along the lines of the experience with the population, the group flight sort of stuff. I talked to some of the people that are doing some ways of interconnecting different flight simulation programs. I talked to the guy, he has, I think it was called POSCON or something.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
And I had a chance to talk to their development staff and the reasons. And one of the things I did this is my first thing, and since I wasn't into the hardware part of everything, I made it a point to find the actual CEO or chief of every particular flight sim who was there. Not some of the biggies didn't send them, but some of the smaller operations did. And what I would do is go up to them, introduce myself, and then ask them some sort of important questions like, yes, hi, I don't know much about your product, explain it to me. And see what kind of an answer I could get. And it varied from from a very canned answer to a person, well, what do you want to know? And it was very interesting. And I would make it a point to talk to the CEOs of the company, some of them only one-person companies, and I'd ask them, well, what's your business plan? Which is not a question you get at a show like this. The reason I do that, I've attended these trade shows in the past as a professional in industries, other industries, and it's a completely different situation. When this enthusiast sort of convention was a completely different experience than what I've attended as an industrial trade show things in the past, and it's a really eye-opener because in the past the industrial trade shows are very well scripted. They stay on message. Yeah. They are essentially saying, here's where we are. If you like what we have, here it is. If you don't, thank you very much and goodbye. Whereas these people were very much interested in talking to you. I've talked to one guy, again, I must admit, he was doing templates, remember that sort of thing? Yep. There's a two-person shop for things. And I was really surprised to see how much immersive additional hardware some of the people were looking for to make themselves feel and think and have an image that they were actually flying in a real airplane as a simulation, as opposed to what I do is more of a more casual process. And it was a real eye-opener for me for the first time, again, not like Karl here, to see how different companies are meeting what they see as a need out there. And my question is, okay, this new hardware, which takes some commitment of dollars and energy, what's the market for that? How does that work? And how many people are going to go into that? And frankly, it was interesting to find that people say, well, I got it into it because I wanted to do something. This is missing, and I thought it was needed. And frankly, I don't even know if anybody really knows what the market is for all these sorts of things.
That's we were constant subject that keeps coming up. What is the flight simulation economy or the market? How much money do people? Nobody knows.
We still don't have an answer. One of the big takeaways that I've got from this particular convention is the fact that there seems to be a lot more startups and stuff. Like I've run into gentlemen who, I guess because they recognize me from the hat or whatever, they were bringing me the stuff that they were working on and wanted to basically get some more exposure, which I'm more than happy to do, especially if I like your product. I'm probably going to use it multiple times. And, even some of the companies like Infinite Flight, perfect example. You have niche within a niche. And I'm finding that there's more of that going on about, and they're still managing to grow their audience, so to speak, or grow their client base. During the live stream that we did yesterday, Infinite Flight in particular came up an awful lot. Everybody wanted to hear what was going on with Infinite Flight. And remember, we haven't really seen much of them. We only heard of them, last year at the Connecticut convention. And now they're, pardon the pun, taking off.
As a reminder, Infinite Flight, the developers of a mobile flight simulator for iOS and Android. Bob, what did you learn? What are you taking away?
I was more interested in the logistical support of making it run. I looked around at the booth. I didn't interact with the presenters and like that. I really appreciated the presentation on using Sims for real-world pilot training. That presentation, if you can catch it on YouTube somewhere, watch it if you're interested in becoming a real-world pilot. If you train real-world pilots, catch that guy. He's really good.
Yes. That's one of the ones you recorded.
Yeah, it's on my FlightSimGuy page.
Presentation, and I highly recommend it. The external tours, the air traffic control tower at McCarran Airport, which comes up tomorrow, and the tour of Nellis Air Force Base, which happened on Friday, are one thing I'm focusing on. The Nellis tour was a standard Air Force Base military can tour, except for the slow roll down Nellis flight line, where you saw more of the Air Force's top-end hardware than you'll ever see, different types, lots of quantity. That was most impressive. Austin of BVA and FlightSimExpo did an excellent job in getting a system that was falling apart to get people on a bus on this. And God bless Technical Sergeant Ika, who took the fact that the gate, the place you roll the bus through, did not have a pass or a heads up that these people were coming through. The Technical Sergeant Ika and Austin of BVA made what could have been a catastrophe work just fine. That's basically what I was doing. I do rides. I transport people. I get things to happen. As far as the Flight Sim Expo itself, I have now many ideas on how to modify my home FCS, my flight control system, my cockpit, with what I've seen there. The one disappointment was the virtual reality control knob that I was going to get. Turns out works with a touch screen only. The name of that company, sorry, help me out, Karl? I'll get back to you on exactly.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
I took a picture so I didn't have to remember it. Learned that from Einstein.
And I don't want to leave you out, Shanna. What was your biggest takeaway from this whole experience? It's like a total newbie, if you will, to the
Nerd Festival. Yeah.
I think being a spouse, I took it. I mean, I always knew that he had a passion for this. And so with me coming in, seeing your guys' names on the screen and all this stuff, I know that I've had conversation with you guys in the past, or he's always said, you know, my wife says hello. But actually like putting names to the faces and actually seeing a whole different side of his passion. And then actually like looking at like the different types of gadgets and how he can put them together, and exactly like what you were talking about, being able to build and how he builds and all of this different type of things. Seeing how his passion kind of correlates with everything that he's done, I think is a big thing for me. I like being able to see how that all kind of correlates together.
One quick question.
Definitely a bit of an eye-opener.
Yeah,
sure.
Exactly.
Would you recommend that pilots that would come to Las Vegas bring their non-flight simming spouses?
I think so, yeah.
Would.
It's a good idea.
I absolutely would. I mean, especially if you're trying to involve in what you're trying to learn and, you know, trying to see, because I know that you just pop into a room and you just see what they're doing and you see how everything kind of correlates together. But what it was before is you guys were just names on screens, you know, but seeing how everything kind of correlates together, and now I can actually put names to faces and faces to names and everything else. Absolutely.
You probably realize that we're all still nerds, but at least we're very passionate nerds, and we're actually real people.
My wife has always known that I'm a nerd.
Hey, we're nerds, you know. Hey, I'm proud of it.
I'm the first one to admit, this has always been my passion ever since I was a little kid. So
yeah, but I think you guys are all, like you said before, and I know you guys have all said this before too, is that you're a family.
Yes.
You know, and you guys have adopted me to be this huge family, even though I really don't play or anything else, but you have taken me in, you have shown me your world, and I appreciate that.
Outstanding. Well, I'm thinking on that note, we're probably going to wrap it up. So, first thing
3 minutes left. Go ahead.
Is I want to give a huge thank you to everybody involved in the event. So Evan and his crew, you know, all the people that came in and volunteered, Jetline Systems providing the computers and all of that. Thank you so much. This stuff could not have come together so timely without your all assistance. And I think Vegas was probably one of the best ideas that I've seen in a while for any kind of convention. It was just an amazing experience. I've never been out here before. So for me, this was like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, I guess. And I'm hoping that it's not going to be the case. I'm hoping that we get to come back again next year. The other huge thank you that I want to give out to are all the people who recognized the hat and came up to me and wanted to take pictures and wanted to talk to me and just thank me for what I've been doing on YouTube. I assure you I'm going to continue to try and do this sort of thing for as long as I possibly can, and I'm always going to try and keep you all in the loop. And then the final thank you goes out to my good buddy, Mr. Andrew Gordon, otherwise known as FlightSimguy, currently behind the camera, because honestly, without you helping to coordinate this whole thing, it would not have happened. So I really appreciate your sacrifice and your help with all of that.
My pleasure.
With that having been said, I just want to thank everybody for being here. I thank everybody for their input. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be giving this video to Evan, or at least the YouTube link to it, so that way he can utilize the feedback to create next year's convention. And of course, we will see everybody there, right?
I appreciate the opportunity to contribute.
All right, that's awesome. Okay, folks, well, that's about everything that we've got for today. So thank you, as always, for watching. This has been BelGeode, and I've been accompanied by FlightSimguy, and of course, all of my lovely friends at MS Flight. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, And I will catch you at the next convention. Be sure to come on out. It's a blast.
Check this out.
Ciao.
It's exactly 20 minutes on the dot.
Is that what you wanted?
That's what I wanted.
Perfect.
Okay, good deal.
I was like watching my watch.